Hello, everybody. Coaching for the Souls, Thursday at 3 is begun. We'll see who pops on here after they see that I'm on. But there's a lot to talk about today. My allergies are horrible. Just horrible. So we'll see who pops on here. Bailey is asleep in the chair. He went to the grooming salon today for a little bath and a little conditioner, a little pretty stuff. Yep. So we'll see. Hi Amanda, how you doing? You're the first one on. Hey Karen, how's it going? Hey Vic, how you doing? Whoops. Just a few people on so far, so that's okay. Gonna do some soul coaching today. Hi Karen, or Catherine, I'm sorry. Hi Catherine, how you doing? How's everybody doing? Hopefully good. It sure did become fall quick, didn't it? Ugh, God. Not used to the clouds and the 60 degrees and no sunshine. Ugh, moist, damp stuff. Good for you, Amanda. That's good. Keep going. Yep, keep going. Keep going. That's what it's all about. Yep, clean stuff out. Get rid of negative energy. Let it go. Let it go. Yeah, I went by the Salvation Army on Auburn Road here in Rochester Hills, and there must have been 30 cars in line yesterday at like 11 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. People are getting rid of their stuff. They're getting rid of their stuff. You know, that's a sign. That's a good sign. That's a good sign from COVID. Yeah, people are getting ready to move forward. Don't worry, Catherine. Put good energy out there. Assume you're going to get it. You will. Yes, Bailey. Bailey's looking at me like, well, Daddy, who are you talking to besides me? He just laid back down like, all right, Dad's just working. Good for you, Amanda. You gotta take care of yourself. Yep, you gotta take care of yourself. If not you, who, right? Yep, if not you, who? It's a little warm in my apartment right now. Kind of weird. Yep, so wait another minute or so and see who else pops on. It might be looks like it might be a low day today. So people are back at work and school's back in session and stuff like that. So yeah, it's okay. It's all good. All good, all good, all good. Looks like somebody just popped on. That doesn't see who it is though. So we'll wait for them to say hello. Okay. Okay. So Spirit wants me to start, so I will. Okay, so first off, I want to talk about liking my... Hey, Jimmy, how's it going? If we're not friends on Facebook under my Bill Hobart page, if you can like that, I can send you an invite. Hey, Jody. I can send you an invite to my Bill Hobart Clairvoyant Medium Psychic page. And the reason Spirit wants me to do that is because my Bill Clairvoyant page is like my dominating page now, and I post stuff on there all the time. It can be anything, where I on my Bill Hobart Clairvoyant Medium Psychic page that is attached to my Bill Hobart Facebook page is strictly spiritual things. Okay? So if you don't really care for my postings on politics or my postings on anything else other than my spiritual things, thanks, Jimmy. Then, hey, Suzanne, then please like my Bill Hobart page if we're not friends already. I'll send you an invite to my Bill Hobart Clairvoyant Medium Psychic page. Like I said, it is exclusive, it is closed, and it is nothing but my spiritual things. Okay, nothing but my spiritual postings, nothing but my videos, all those kinds of things. Okay, Spirit just gave me that this afternoon, that I need to remind people about that, so that if they, because like I said, Bill Clairvoyant is becoming my dominant page where I post all the time about different things that aren't always spiritual. Okay, so please like Bill Hobart on Facebook, and I will send you an invite to Bill Hobart Clairvoyant Medium Psychic. Okay, so again, if you're watching this now or watching this in the future, please, if you need something, let me know when it comes to that. All right, so I know. First thing, and I said this to Amanda a minute ago, is if it's not going to be you, then who? And that is about loving yourself. Okay, clients this week have been really needy, and hey, Carson, and needy's fine. We're all needy, trust me. We're all needy at one time or another, right? It's not a negative thing at all. But just starting their journey, because they're just now starting to understand that they don't have to be miserable, that they don't have to be fearful, that they don't have to live in I don't knows, right? And that comes down to who they are, and when they look in the mirror, what do they see? And I've talked about this before, and Spirit wants me to talk about it again, just because of some of the people I've had this week. And it is about getting to know yourself. It's understanding that you can't have any negative self-talk. Okay? You can't. You got to stop it. You got to tell ego, no, I'm not listening to that because that's not true. I was the biggest negative self-talk person, I swear to God. It sabotaged me. I look back, it sabotaged me more than, I could have been so much further ahead. But I understand this is where I'm supposed to be. See? But understanding who you are and understanding that you need to be the best you can be, which is pretty freaking good, right? When it comes to all aspects of your life, is everything going to be 100%? No, it's not supposed to be, right? That would be perfect. And none of us are perfect, right? None of us are perfect. But it's about going deeper and going, and my sister and I were having this conversation about what we inherited from my mother. Great mom, fabulous, fabulous mom. But underneath that, she screamed a lot. Hey, Pamela. She screamed a lot. She wasn't always nice. She was pretty cold, but we knew she loved us, and she made us good food, and she always took care of us, and we had boundaries and rules and things like that. She was our mom, right? In the pure sense of the word. But the negative energy that we picked up from her riddles myself, my sister, and my older brother. Me, not so much anymore, because I cleared it, right? I've cleared it through meditation. I've cleared it, again, those meditations, bingo. Cleared it through meditation and all those kinds of things. Hey, Susan, right? Of allowing. As Spirit and I have talked about this a lot too. It's allow. It's allow. So my sister really didn't, I think sometimes she thinks I'm preaching because I've always been her older brother and I've always known more than her because she's a Scorpio, right? And people have always come to me for advice, right? So when we were talking this week, I pointed out the things that we absorbed from our parents, especially from my mom. The negative stuff, right? That even when she was dying, right? She comes out of surgery and she's on a gurney, and she died of brain cancer in 1988. and her head was all bandaged up. She's laying on a gurney, and my sister and I were allowed to go in and say hi, see how she was, right? And we walked up, said, "Hi, Mom," and she goes, "Hey, Tracy." She goes, "Hi," and then I said to her, "Well, how do you feel?" And she goes, "I feel nauseated." The next thing she said in her tone of voice was, "Now you kids go on. Go on, you kids go on." Meaning leave me alone. And we heard that our entire lives. Negative energy, right? I mean, I understand she just got out of brain surgery and she doesn't want to be bothered, but she was our mom, right? We look at it as children and go, "Well, I don't understand. We're concerned about you," but we just accepted it and walked back to the waiting room. See? And that was 28. So that was like 32 years ago, right? So, hey, Vicky. So my sister and I have carried that our entire lives. I've looked at it and lost it because it doesn't serve me, right? My sister has not. And it kind of matches what I've been talking to people about this week, is the fact of looking at yourself and they don't understand how to look at themselves, So again, I had to point out to my sister the energy that our mother gave us. Like, go away, leave me alone. Hey, Michael, right? In the wintertime, snowing like hell outside, cold, like 20 degrees outside. My mother would say, "You kids get your stuff on and get outside. Go on, get outside." When we just wanted to be in the house, it was warm. But we did what we were told, right? Because that was what we did. You're my mom, you're my dad, and that's what we did, right? But the feeling that we got, we just were used to it, right? But as you grow up, when people talk to you like that, with that tone of voice, right, with that energy, guess what happens now that you're grown up? You get that power, that fury, like, what are you talking about? Because we couldn't do that to my mom. See? She was our mom. We were small, we were little, right? So those things carry from childhood into our adult lives. And many, many times it gets us in trouble. Because we're either waiting for somebody to save us, hi Ruth, or we are combative with any criticism at all. When people act like they don't want to be around us, right? When you have a boyfriend, a wife, a girlfriend, a husband, right? And you get the feeling and they tell you, I want to be by myself. Well, that reverts right back to childhood. It did for me. It did for my sister. See? So, and then what that does is that just metastasize inside of you. It just attaches itself to your insides. So every time the energy's wrong, COVID, right? Anytime you are in a job, let's say, and this was something that we talked about too, and I talked with other people this week too about, is living in fear. Okay? We lived in fear our entire life over money. Allergies, man. Even though we were not poor at all. But my mother grew up in the Depression, right? And it was all about using every single penny because we needed to. That was what we got as kids, right? So when you believe you grow up in lack, you fear for being in lack again when you make it. So every time you get pushed back in your job, usually in your job because that's where we make our money, right? That fear kicks in. Oh my God, I'm going to lose my job. Oh my God, I'm going to lose my job, when you're not going to. But your ego takes it and you spiral out of control about, oh my God, I'm going to lose my job. Oh my God, I've got to defend myself. Oh my God, that supervisor has it in for me. Oh, ego will build a freaking mountain out of a molehill. See? That's why you got to be in control of that. You have to be conscious of that, right? I'm guilty of that. In my last job, I was probably in fear. I was fear based probably 75% of the time that I was going to lose my job. And every job before that, right? Just because somebody would have a conversation with me about something that they wanted me to change. Okay? And I was in retail management in footwear and things like that. And that's pretty much an autonomous job, which is wonderful. That's why it works so well for me. And I learned usually how to take things, but also my supervisors knew how to ask me or explain it to me so that I wouldn't go from 0 to 15 like that. Like my mom. See? My sister's the same way. My brother, when he was working, was the same way. See? But now I get to show her how it's done because I've already dealt with it. I've already gotten rid of that energy. It doesn't serve me at all. It serves nobody. It serves no one to live in fear. Now, if it is something other than monetary fear, money fear, like bodily harm fear, that's something else, right? Vocal fear because you were bullied or because you were verbally bullied by your parents or your grandparents or your sisters or brothers or whatever. Yeah. See? So it is all about, sorry guys, I got to do this. It's all about understanding that you do not have to carry that energy, and please don't teach your children or your grandchildren that, right? Because I can look back at being like 6, 7, 8 years old, and I was a skinny little boy. I mean, I did not like the cold. I did not like the water because it was cold. I just wanted to be warm all the time. But my mother would tell us to get our boots on, get your long johns on, and then get yourself outside and play. She did not want us to be in the house at all playing at all, right? Because kids are kids, they're loud. They're talking loud, they're having fun, and my mom didn't really care for that. See? Ooh, I just got chills. Yeah, see? And again, didn't understand was it really a bad thing then, just because we did what we were told, right? And if we did go to our rooms to do whatever, we were quiet, see? And as we got older, that's what we did, because you couldn't tell us to go outside when we were like 12, 13. I'm not gonna do that, see? Hi, Adrian. I'm great, see? So, again, more things that we bring from our childhood, right? And then, as I've said before, 40, 50, and 60 years old, your DNA changes to get you ready for the next decade. Well, my sister will be 59 in November. Okay? The last 3 supervisors that she's had, or she has 3 different jobs, right? In one after another. And there always seems to be a person who comes in and is her supervisor that they don't get along. When she takes the job and it's fabulous, she's better with men than she's with women because of her energy, like my mom, right? And so then a female will come in supervision. Hey Tom, what's going on? Just talking about my mother and the energy that we carried all through our lives. Tom knows my mom big time. She knows how she used to scream. You kids get outside. But every time that happens, she spirals out of control because there's pushback. She doesn't feel worthy because that's, again, because our father that we had, right, who was a fabulous man, he worked at Consumers Energy and he went to work every day and we never saw any pushback from him. He was a supervisor. It ended up being a supervisor and blah, 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 blah. And we never even saw him be any different way than the way Dad always was, which was good, right? My mom, mellow, right? Loving, wanted to kiss us and pinch our butts and, just kind of like everything else, right? Be our dad. And so when you grow up with that, like anything, right? And then when you get that pushback, that you're not used to because you're like your father. I'm my father, my sister's my father, my brother's my father. When it comes to needing to attain, right? Needing to be very, very good at what we do, that's what we were taught, right? That you work until you attain, right? Now, in this part of my life, it's allowing to attain, right? I can't work at nothing. I just have to allow, right? Because it doesn't help me to work, right? It's just do what I'm supposed to do. See? So I've changed my energy to match my career. See? And others in my family have not. So my sister's struggling. And I have 2 other clients that I talked to this week. They're in the same boat that she is. I don't understand why. I don't understand why, Bill. I don't understand. These are people, right? Saying, Bill, I don't understand why. I just keep attracting these things. And 2 of them, I said, hey, Grace, I said to them, well, it's about you. And they're like, what do you mean? What do you mean about me? It's them. No. You're reacting to their energy. You're reacting to what they're saying to you. You're reacting because of what happened to you when you were a child. See? Because that's where everything starts, guys. I'm telling you what. It doesn't matter if it happens when it ain't gonna happen when you're 21, unless something devastating happens to you physically, emotionally. Again, those things will stay with you. But our core trajectory, Spirit says, is from childhood. From the day you're born to you're 13. Right? Ego tapes everything that happens in your life, and it's never the good stuff. It's always the bad stuff. See? It's true. It's true. See? So if you can understand that, and then you can look at those things and go, okay, why do I react negatively towards that? Why do I live in fear? Because I don't know. Well, okay, so what do you do when you don't know? You ask, Spirit, I need you to help me with this. I don't know why I'm fearful. I don't understand. And then I'll send you Steve Noble meditation on fear and anxiety, and you'll be like, oh, that's what happens. Because they work. See? They do. They work. Only reason that I am the way that I am today, God bless it, is Steve Noble meditations. Yep. Because this old Capricorn was set in his ways, and that's why Spirit brought him to me. Right? To help me get ready for my future. To help me get ready for moving to Kihei, Maui, to write the books. Getting me ready to move. Getting me ready for my future. Getting me ready for that. See? And it happens to everybody because I'm 60. Happens at 40, 50, and 60. Automatically. Because your DNA changes, and it's about evolution, Spirit says. It's about getting you ready for the next decade. It's getting you ready for the best life ever. Because you didn't gain all of this in 2 or 3 years. You gained it in 40 or 50 or 60 years. So it's not going to go away just like that. There's no quick, easy fix about anything. There isn't. But there's tools available to help that process quicker. More than there was 10 years ago. More than there was 5 years ago. Why is that? Because we're getting ready to go into the 4th dimension, where energy will be different. And we'll be different. We will think differently. We'll know things we don't know now. Again, that's why the Steve Noble meditations are so important, is because when you are in meditation, your guides activate DNA knowing that's inside your body, that's planted inside your body while you're in meditation. See? Because again, human can't do it by ourselves. Ego gets in the way way too much. Way too much. So Tom says, I remember your mom getting after us when we were pestering her in the kitchen while she was making rabbit barbecue. See? My mother probably said something like, "You kids go outside, leave me alone," or whatever. "You kids go." Yeah. See? My mom. She was frustrated all the time. That's why she needed her escape in the Harlequin romance book she read once. She read one Harlequin romance every single night till 2 in the morning. She read a whole book in a day. We had a little closet. It was stacked with Harlequin romances. She'd take them over to the bookstore and either sell them or she'd take them to the library and donate them. Yeah, see? But that's how she dealt with her life. We don't have to do that anymore, you guys. We don't. The universe doesn't allow it anymore. The universe is here to make us understand that we have to be those higher beings, right? We have to let our stuff go. We have to look at it and let it go. Yeah. Tom says, in the chair with a candy dish. Exactly. My mother sat in the chair most of the day, most of the night, except for when she cooked dinner and things like that. And she read her Harlequin romance, and she ate candy out of a round yellow Tupperware bowl. Yeah. That's my mom with a cigarette in her hand. Yep. That's who she was. It's the way she coped. It's the way she coped with her life. It's the way that she coped from growing up in the Depression, right? Growing up in a household that had pedophiles in it, right? We don't know if anything happened to her. We never talked about that. See? Because they didn't back then. But I'll tell you, every night we had to be in our bed so she knew where we were. She told us that every single. Can I? She goes, no. No one. You can't stay there. They can't stay here because you need to be in your bed where I know where you're at. Now we know why growing up, right? But we don't know what else she had that had happened that had happened to her or my father. See? Only now we're more evolved. We have more abilities. We're able to know more, to ascend higher, to understand. When I was growing up, there was like one person in Jackson who was a psychic. And my mother went to her, and so did I when I was growing up, as I grew up. You know, only one that I knew. She still does it today. In fact, I think she's on my website, you know, as a person who started me in this whole thing. She's wonderful. See? But think about that. Back when I was growing up, there wasn't any such thing as, there was the New Age thinker, the people in Ann Arbor who was stoned and would hug trees because they were stoned. Well, that wasn't what the New Age thinking, the New Age, that's what the way that they labeled it back then. Well, now, not at all. There's people like me all over the place. There's people like you all over the place. People who are connected to the universe. People who are connected to their guides, and are wanting more. But ego stops us from moving. See, taking one step forward by doing a meditation helps you clarify, being more conscious, not allowing yourself to fall back as often as you used to. It's all a process, right? It's all a process. My sister's been emotional since we were children. She came out of my mom like that, I believe. She was the only girl. 3 boys and a girl, you know. My mother was not the feminine kind. She was like the guys. And that's why Martha's like that. That's why my sister's like that. You know, beautiful. My sister's beautiful and can do anything, but her energy gets her every time. Her emotional energy gets her every time. You know, because again, we hold things that we have from childhood, unless we address it and move on. They don't like me. I don't know why. They're not my friend anymore. I don't know why. There's all kinds of things when we're kids, you know. My best friend Tom punches me in the face in music class and punches out my eye. Those kind of things, you know. But we're kids, right? We're kids. We're still friends. We've always been friends. We'll always be friends. You know, I mean, that's just what we did. I was smaller than he was, and we were playing around with a chair, and he popped me in the eye because it was his reaction to me. It's okay. I didn't hold anything against him. I never have. It's just what happened. In fact, I probably took most of the blame because I'm like, yeah, it was about me. Me wanting to do whatever, be that person. So yeah, see? And I took that when I was younger. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm the one who instigated that by being me. See? It was true, right? But what happens many, many times, Townsend, you don't have to drag that shit up. I'm just saying, I'm trying to teach people, my friend, that you don't that you can let that go, right? And many, many times we don't do that. I mean, I could harbor against Tom, and this happened when we were in 7th grade. We're talking 1973, okay? How many years ago was that, right? 50 times. I could hold that. I could hold that today at 60 years old. But no. Didn't even think about it when I was going through all my talk therapy and doing what I'm doing. No, not at all, because it's whatever. But I was blessed with that, right? I was blessed with having that heaven spirit and having those thoughts in my mind of, no, it was just horseplay. You know, just horseplay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Still like Tom, right? But other times, I can tell you, things that happened to me, like being chased home from school and a bunch of other bullying things in elementary school. I had to go through that piece by piece. See? Because I was angry all the time, living in fear. You know about the fight or flight? I was always in flight most of my life until I was probably 40, maybe 42. Yeah. Again, living in fear, right? Didn't know it at the time, right? Because usually we don't, because we just accept it. Just go, because again, I talk to many people who are like, well, Bill, yeah, that happened, but it's not affecting me at all. Well, why can't you find the right person to be with? How come you can't deal with being around your parents, your mom, your dad, whoever, your brother, your sister? How come it's hard for you to attract neutral friends, right? Well, because they're feeding off your energy. See? You attract what you need. And when you attract what you need, it's never the good stuff, you guys. It's always someone comes into your life to help you change and let go and move forward. And that's what life is, right? To be the best person you can be, right? To be the best person that you can be every single decade, right? You don't think about that when you're 20 or when you're 30. But why do people have midlife crisis? Well, because they're like, oh my God, I'm 40. Oh my God, I'm 45. Well, that's because the DNA is changing. Going, okay, it's time for us to look at the future. It's time for you to let your stuff go. It's time, they're making realizations about their life, right? That I want to buy that Vet. I want to buy that Camaro, or I want to buy that Mustang 5.0, right? That's what it's all about. That could be men or women, right? But it's about understanding that, oh my God, I missed that. Oh my gosh, I missed that. That doesn't serve us. But it's comfortable for us because that's where we came from. See? That's like people who live in the town that I grew up in that don't leave. They're comfortable in Jackson. God forbid. They're comfortable in Jackson. You know, they don't need, if they want to go outside the area to do some shopping or do something, they do, but they feel okay in Jackson. Nothing wrong with that. But it's heavy dysfunctional energy that's in Jackson. See you later, Tom. Take care of yourself. See? It's dysfunctional and it's heavy. As in some places in Metro Detroit. I could name probably a half dozen of them, you know, that are heavy. But understanding that just because where you live is heavy doesn't mean that you have to be heavy. It means that you can allow yourself to have and evolve being this person who is conscious, who understands what it's like and understands who they are. And when this much dysfunction comes close to you or pulls up in you, you go, I know what that is. What is that about? Spirit, I need you to help me with this. If we don't have the tools on how to clear it out and fix it. That's the key, right? It's about being conscious. It's about taking care of ourselves and loving ourselves. Because if not you, who? Who is going to love you if you don't love yourself? If you don't give yourself what you need. And many times people go, Bill, I don't know what I need. What do you want? Well, I want love and affection, and I want a good job, and I want all these things without being specific. Okay, well, that doesn't always work, right? It doesn't always work. Adrian says living in heavy environment is still difficult. Exactly. It's hard to be in heavy energy even when you have the tools to succeed, right? That's why most people that evolve, most people that move forward, most people that evolve and know themselves, right, move out of where they grew up in that energy. See? Because it's limiting. It's limiting energy. Now, all the time, no. But sometimes it is. Jackson, it definitely is. See? And because Jackson has the largest federal prison or state prison, the largest walled prison in the world, guess what energy is in Jackson? Hard, heavy. Yeah. That affects the whole area. See? Even though they're great paying jobs and they employ a lot of people and it's the prison city, let's say, yeah. But the energy in Jackson's heavy. So it's tough. It's tough. See? But once you get out, it's amazing. And I've said this before, is that when I moved away from Metro Detroit, away from Michigan, okay, to Ohio, it was different when I lived in Ohio for 9 years. And when I lived in Chicago, 3 different times in 30 years, Chicago is totally different energy than Michigan. And when those people come here, they're like, what is up with the people in Michigan? They're weird. Well, we learn how to live in fear from the auto industry. The energy in Detroit is always me against it's us against them. See? Because there's the haves and the have-nots. That's the union. See? It's true. So if you go outside of Metro Detroit or outside of Michigan as a whole, because Michigan's, it doesn't matter if you're Northern Michigan or UP, we all have the same mentality because of what we have had and what the state has lost. Chicago's not like that. New York's not like that, right? Atlanta's not like that, right? Miami's not like that. Houston, Dallas, LA, even Salt Lake City's not like that, right? But places that have had great lives and then lost them and then had to struggle to get back. And that's real life, right? That is living in a family. That's human stuff. But understanding that we have to let that go. You have to look at it and go, why do I attract that kind of man? I asked that my probably first week of talk therapy in 2000. Right? Why do I attract the wrong guy? I don't understand why. And as we went through that process of having a conversation with my therapist, Stefan, for let's say the first year, I knew exactly why. I knew exactly why, and I'm like, okay, great, let's fix it. He always said to me, you are my favorite client. I'm like, why? Because you want to get better, Bill. Because you want to lose that heaviness. Because you want to understand why you are the way that you are. Why don't you get what you want when you want it? Because we all want stuff, right? We all want stuff. And it's okay to want. But to want, we have to allow. And to be able to allow, we have to be semi-clear, semi-clean. Raise our vibration enough, talking to our spirit guides, our guardian angels out loud. doing our work, doing what we need to do to open up that heart chakra that's been closed by usually most kids and allow our energy to flow. How does it flow? It flows out of our mouth. That's how you love yourself. Trust me. Because if not you, who? Who's going to love you if you don't love yourself? And I always thought that was, give me a break. I know I love myself. I'm pretty great. Well, that wasn't true. See? But now I can look in the mirror and I go, yeah, you're pretty good. I see the white light around me. I know what I can do. I know who I am. I know. Where before I thought I knew, but I didn't really know. It's a process. I didn't get to be the person I was in 3 years when it came to all my baggage. It took me 40 years to get to that point. See? 40 years of just, oh, God, I look back and go, it was a good time. I had a really good time, but how dysfunctional I was and how mean I was, power hungry, and was pissed off and I didn't get what I wanted like a child, even though I'd worked for it. Well, see? Because energy, right? Eventually energy, if you're carrying energy and it's moving and you're moving yourself forward with that energy, which is powerful, eventually guess what the universe is going to do? Put a wall in front of you. So when that energy hits that wall, where does it go back to? You. You go, whoa, man, what is that about? Why are they talking to me like that? Why are they treating me like that? They've never done that before. Blah, 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 blah. Chimes. See? That's how you wake up and go, okay, I don't understand. Why all of a sudden are they pushing back? Why all of a sudden? Well, because you have to change your behavior, Bill. You have to change your behavior. You have to change the way that you think about yourself. You have to change the way. Not to be subservient, not to be submissive at all. It's to be calm. To not be reactionary. See? Because if you can do that, if you cannot be reactionary, and that can be negative and positive, right? That can be in a way of pulling inside of yourself because it's easier, it's safer that way. That's what you did as a child. Or reacting outwardly with, what do you think? How can you? No. But having that balanced approach of sitting there and then speaking in a tone and with an energy of power. And so many people give their power away. I was one of them that did. I was a very powerful person in retail footwear in every job I ever had. Okay? I was the man. I was the guy who knew shoes and feet. Like that. Spirit helped me with that, right? Right? I'd have a diagram in my head of somebody's feet and boom, 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 I could take care of them easily. See? That's why I was successful. I could teach that too. See? But guess what? Eventually that needed to go away. They needed to crumble. And this is my new career. Was it easy? Oh no, because my behavior was one of being in control. My behavior was being, and again, ego was not involved in this at all with thinking that I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread, because I learned early off that when you were from my parents, number one, that when you're at the top of your game, they're looking to knock you off. Mm-hmm. And I watch many people who are not genuine, who are not true, gain what they thought was success, and then they lost it all because they were living in ego. I was never living in ego being a Capricorn. I was living in success. I was living in, well, that didn't serve me. See? And that happens to people every day. Whatever zodiac sign that you are, because that is what you carry. You can have success after success after success, but then you hit the plateau. Or you don't have success. You challenged and challenged and challenged. Well, there's a reason for that challenge. The reason for that challenge is they're trying to tell you, your guides are trying to tell you to go, I don't understand why I can't succeed. I need you to help me with this. And some people will ask and some people don't. And they get to a point in their life where they go, I've never been able to achieve all the things that I wanted. Well, did you ask how to change that? No. Well, I don't know how. Well, that's the point. Because they didn't know that they should talk out loud, that they can ask the spirit guides whatever they want, that they have to change. Why? So that they can, so when they bring it to you, you accept it. I'm telling you, if a person who has not achieved what they thought they were going to believe, if a person hits a plateau where they don't know who they are, they're starting to have their DNA starting to change, right? They're starting to have, well, I really wish I would have done that. I really wish I would have done that, and they don't ask for help. Guess what? You're running up a sand dune with shoes on. And we all know, if you're from Michigan and you've been to the west side of the state, you can't run up a sand dune with shoes on. You got to be barefooted. Why is that? Because you connect to the sand. That's how that works. See? That's how it works. But in shoes, unless they're Clark Originals, Wallabies, you're not going to go up that sand dune anytime soon in shoes. You're going to feel like you have shoes that are like bozo shoes. See? There's a reason for that, right? Same way with life. If I don't have the tools to be successful, if I don't have the tools, if I don't know how to get from point A to point B to point C, or I think it'll be easy, it's no big deal, I'm going to go ahead and do that. And what happens is your ego gets involved and takes you down Route 101 instead of I-94. This will be easier. This will be faster. Don't worry about that. Hey, David, how you doing? Yeah, see? So it's super, super important to understand who you are and understand that if not you, who? If you don't understand yourself, why don't you? And what you need to do to understand yourself, to love yourself. Understanding that the big glass pitcher that is inside of your chest is waiting for you to put beautiful emotion, which is water, in that pitcher. Because you have to love yourself first before you can give the emotion away to somebody else. Right? Chimes. People all the time are so dry. Their pitcher is so dry, and they wonder why they feel exhausted. Why do I feel like I'm not loved? I give to all these people, and they never give back. Why is that? Because you're giving away all of your love to people who you shouldn't be, who are expecting it. And I'm not talking children. Children need all the love you can give to them, but they give unconditional love back, just like Bailey does to me. That old dog loves me, and I love him, and we're buds, right? When he knows that I'm not feeling good, that I'm kind of like in a weird space, he'll come up and sit next to me on the couch and just look at me. He puts his paws like this and looks at me like this. Like, okay, Dad, what's going on? Let's have a conversation. And I'll look at him and I'll say, what are you doing? And we'll have a conversation. Because I can hear what he's saying to me. Thank God, right? But if I wasn't this person I am today, I wouldn't be able to. I didn't know 4.5 years ago what he was saying. No friggin' way. Had no idea. See? Until I understood from Steve Noble Meditations, number one, right? And from just having interactions with spirit and with other people, but mostly spirit and the internet, Steve Noble Meditations, it all comes to me that, Bill, you have to let go of that stuff because I need you to ascend. You're too heavy. Your body's too heavy. You got too much stuff inside. You have to be lighter, Bill. You have to be lighter, Bill. And this was before I got Steve Noble Meditations, right? I don't understand what you want me to do. I don't understand how to do that. I need somebody to show me, right? Because I've never had a teacher, except for spirit. My entire life, I've never had a teacher. See? Had to be self-taught on how to do everything, usually. See? Then Steve Noble Meditations show up from a friend. There you go, Bill. Now do them. And that's what started that. That's why I promote them so well. right? All the time. Because I'm telling you, if you're persistent and you do those meditations and you do the proper ones for how you're feeling, they'll take all that stuff off your body. They'll take all that stuff out of your body and help you ascend. Isn't that what we all want? Isn't that what we want when we get into the fourth, when we live in the fourth dimension? Around us, in our heads, in our bodies, right? Because 3D is just miserable energy, which we've all grown up in. We've all grown up in 3D energy. The third dimensional energy is hard and crusty. We have not had an energy shift in 15,000 years. Well, guess what, guys? We get to be part of that. Now I know one reason why I'm born now. Now I understand why 6.5 years ago, I quit my job after 37 years and didn't do it before. Wasn't time. Wasn't time. Well, now I know it is time, right? It's time for everybody. It's time for everybody to understand that, it's time for everybody to understand that they have to look at themselves. They have to understand why they are the way that they are. Why do they think the way that they are? Why are you that person? Soul Searching 101. Talking out loud, saying, Spirit, I don't know why I act like this. I don't know why I act like this. And within hours, you have a remembrance of something that happened to you when you were 9, when you're 5, when you're 14, right? Why am I thinking about that? Because you asked us to tell you why you are the way that you are. There you go. Why am I seeing all the people that hurt me that were my boyfriends in my life? Because you asked me, Bill, 2 hours ago that you didn't understand why you couldn't keep a boyfriend. Okay, well, now I understand. See? And as you ascend, you even know even more. See? Ascend even more. Because your energy attracts the wrong people, Bill. Because you want somebody to save you, which is the very, very truth. It's the truth. See? And I found that out in 2004. I was 44 years old. I had lived with that for 44 freaking years. 44, 45. See? Nuts. That's crazy. But it's real. Right? It's real that we live in this third dimensional energy which keeps us heavy, which keeps us unknowing. It keeps us stuck, Spirit says. And now he's showing me humans stuck in the mud up to our ankles and just plotting through, not being able to be ascended. Because the mud is all your baggage. It's all the things that you carry from this lifetime. And unless you actually get rid of them by guided meditation, by talking out loud, even by going to talk therapy. Okay? I did talk therapy for, I believe it was almost 12 and a half or 13 years. Yeah. One little break in there for 3 years. And then I went right back when I moved back here from Chicago in 2010. Right? To pick up where we left off after a decade, and then also to finish in 3 years, which I did. See? Because I knew I needed to. I didn't like who I had fallen back into being that person. See? Because that's what happens with behavior. We end up going backwards instead of moving forward. So we have to be conscious of our behavior and conscious of the energy around us. And I was not that powerful then. I'd given away my power to my supervisor. And then wondered why he thought he could bully me. Why? Well, because you gave him your power by not standing up to him. Hey, Teresa, right? That's why. And we do that, and most of us do that every day. Okay? We give away our power to people by not standing up and saying, you cannot talk to me like that. Cannot talk to me like that. You can't. You can't talk to me like that. It's not right. You can't talk to me like that. You know, when when they're doing the Charlie Brown voice of the teacher, wah, 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 and you're feeling bad. Because their energy and what they're saying and who they are is bullying you. Because they think they can. Because you gave away your power. That can be a husband, that can be a mother, that can be a father, that can be a brother, that can be a sister, I mean anybody. Be a person on the street. It can be a Karen or Ken on the street who thinks they have the right to be those people. They have the right to be those people. Because they think that they can. And I the ones that I posted or the ones that I have seen on Facebook Watch, and this is just me, I would be in jail. Because I would punch him in the face. That's who I am. Because that's not right. You can't do that. You can't do that to people. Okay? You can't do that to people. No. It's not right. It's not right. It's our journey together. It's not those people, right? Because those people that are Karens and Kens are all deeply embedded in the third dimension and do not want their world to change. Well, guess what, people? It's changing. Energy shifting higher. And all you people that are down in that hardcore third dimensional energy, in a year and a half after COVID kind of gets under control, you're going to look back and go, WTF. WTF. See? So, yeah. So about understanding yourself, loving yourself, letting stuff go, talking out loud. And I probably have talked a dozen times about that. But today, because of the people that I've had this week that have been victims, they live in victim mentality and they don't know why they can't get what they want. Because they gave their power away. You know, not that they're children, but their emotions are very, very childlike. You know, they're looking for people to save them at work, personally, in friendships. No, it's you. Stand your ground. But you have to understand and be okay with what you need to say, how you need to say it. So you don't get into trouble, right? So you're not inappropriate. Yeah. Hey, Judy. So now what do you say how Trump winning this year? I told you before, Trump's not going to win. He's not going to win. I knew that months and months ago. Yeah. He's not going to win. No, not going to win. The Democrats will crush the Republicans in November. Just to give everybody the heads up on that. Okay. Will he leave office? No. They'll have to extract him. And then things in the country will happen like I spoke about for the last 2 years. You know, because white supremacists are definitely a terrorist organization, and so is the KKK. And they will prove that in 2021. Trust me, they will. By bombing major American cities, major democratic cities, right? They will. Chimes. Yep. Yes, Adrian, the Bob Woodward interview was heartbreaking. Yes. It kind of laid it all out, didn't it? Kind of laid it all out. See? So, again, is 2021 going to be easy? No. It's going to be tough energy. Going to be a lot of things we're not used to, but it's the energy pushing back, and not taking sides, right? Understanding that it's good and evil. It's third D energy, which is heavy and evil, right? As we move out of it and allowing ourselves to be in the sunshine and the new energy, which is clear and clean and connecting. Yeah. See? And the thing, too, Spirit wants me to say is Donald Trump knows he's going to lose. He knows he's going to lose. Yes. And so he's planning how not to exit. And I've also said that him and his family will leave the country. They'll leave the country for fear of prosecution. Yes, because everything will come out in 2021 on how deep the corruption is. Yeah, it's pretty deep. It's pretty deep. Yep. So, yeah. Sorry to end on that note, but Judy asked the question, so I gave you guys the answer. So, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. I'm still running specials. They're on my Facebook page. I post them every day. If you need anything, let me know. Okay. If you need meditations, let me know. Anything like that. Okay. I'm always here to help people. All right. So thank you for joining me on Coaching for the Soul Thursdays at 3. Namaste, everybody, and I'll see you next Thursday at 3 o'clock. Okay.